they wish they never left you, but not for the reason you think. And definitely not in the way you're currently approaching this. Let me be very direct with you. If you stay the same person you were when they walked away, nothing is going to change. You can sit here and hope they miss you. You can watch videos, repeat affirmations, or check tarot readings. But if your self-concept stays the same, your reality will keep reflecting that same version of you. And that version of you is the one who got left. I know that sounds harsh, but you need to understand this. Right now, you're trying to get a different outcome without becoming a different person. And it doesn't work like that. Now I know what's going on in your mind. You're thinking, if they really loved me, they wouldn't have left. You're thinking, if they miss me, they would reach out. You're thinking, if I mattered, they wouldn't be acting like this. And logically, that makes sense. But your logic is based on your current identity. It's based on how you see yourself right now. If your identity is someone who feels rejected, abandoned, or not chosen, then everything you see will confirm that story. You will look at their silence and call it proof. You will look at their absence and call it closure. You will look at their behavior and assume they have moved on. But what you're really seeing is a reflection of your own self-concept. So instead of asking, why did they leave? You need to start asking a much more important question. Who are you being when they left? Not to blame yourself, but to understand yourself. Because the version of you that existed in that relationship created a certain dynamic. The way you thought, the way you felt, the way you reacted, and the way you saw yourself all played a role. And if you don't change that, you will repeat it. Maybe with them again, maybe with someone new, but the pattern will stay the same. Now here's the truth you need to hear. People don't regret losing someone who was constantly available, constantly chasing, and constantly trying to prove their worth. They don't sit at night thinking about the person who made them the center of their world while forgetting themselves. They move on easily from that. What they don't move on from is someone who had presence, someone who had value without needing validation, someone who didn't beg to be chosen, but naturally felt like the obvious choice. That is the person who becomes unforgettable. And right now, you're not focused on becoming that person. You're focused on them. You're thinking about what they're doing. You're wondering who they're talking to. You're checking if they posted something. You're replaying old conversations in your head. And then you say, I want them to miss me. Think about that for a second. You are the one constantly thinking about them. You are the one keeping their presence alive in your mind. You are the one emotionally attached to the situation every single day. So where exactly is the space for them to feel your absence? There is none. You filled that space completely with your attention. This is why nothing is shifting. This is why you feel stuck. And this is exactly why self-concept is not optional. It is the foundation of everything. Your self-concept decides how you see yourself, and how you see yourself decides everything else. It decides what you tolerate. It decides what you expect. It decides how people treat you, and it decides how you react when things don't go your way. If deep down you believe that you are not enough, you will act like it. If deep down you believe that people leave you, you will expect it. If deep down you believe that you have to earn love, you will keep chasing it. And then when someone leaves, it feels like confirmation. But it's not random. It's a pattern. Now let me show you something simple. There are two versions of you. One version is constantly worried. This version overthinks everything. This version needs reassurance. This version is always trying to hold on, afraid that things might fall apart. The other version is calm. This version feels secure. This version knows their value. This version doesn't chase, doesn't beg, and doesn't question whether they are enough. Now be honest with yourself. Which version do you think people respect more? Which version do you think people feel more drawn to? Which version do you think someone would sit and think about after losing? It's obvious. And this has nothing to do with looks, luck, or timing. It has everything to do with identity. So if you want someone to sit there and think, I shouldn't have left, then you need to become someone who creates that impact. And that does not happen by focusing on them. It happens by focusing on you. Now let's talk about what that actually looks like. It means you stop repeating the old story. You stop telling yourself, they left me, again and again in different forms. You stop identifying as the person who got rejected, and you start building a new identity. An identity where you are valued, an identity where you are chosen, an identity where your presence actually means something. And this is not about lying to yourself. This is about training your mind, because whether you realize it or not, your mind is already trained. It's just trained in the wrong direction. Right now, it automatically goes to negative assumptions. It automatically replays painful memories. It automatically expects the worst outcome. And you've practiced that so many times that it feels natural. So now, when you try to think differently, it feels fake. But it's not fake. It's just unfamiliar. And if you keep practicing it, it becomes your new normal. This is where discipline comes in. Because most people know what to do, they've heard about affirmations. They've heard about visualization. They've heard about self-concept. But they don't stay consistent. They do it for 1 or 2 days, then they stop. Or they keep switching methods, hoping something external will fix an internal problem. It won't. Nothing changes until you do. You need to decide who you are going to be and then stick to it. Not when you feel motivated, not when things are going well, but every single day. When your mind tells you they don't care, you correct it. When your mind says they've moved on, you don't accept it blindly. You choose a different story, not because you're forcing reality, but because you understand that your inner state is what shapes your outer experience. Now, here's something important you need to understand. The reason you want them to regret leaving is not just about them. It's about what their leaving made you feel. It made you feel rejected. It made you feel unimportant. It made you question your value. And now you want them to come back and fix that feeling. You want them to prove that you mattered. But if you don't fix that within yourself first, even if they come back, the same insecurity will still be there. You will still overthink. You will still doubt. You will still fear losing them again. And eventually, you will push them away in a different way. That's why this is deeper than just getting someone back. This is about who you are. So stop asking, do they regret leaving me? Start asking, am I someone people regret losing? Because that answer is in your control. If you build a self-concept where you know your value, where you feel secure, and where you don't chase validation, people feel that. They respond to that. They remember that. And yes, sometimes they come back because of that. Sometimes they sit there and think about you. Sometimes they wonder what you're doing. Sometimes they question their decision. But even if they don't, it won't matter as much. Because you are no longer the same person. You are not the version of you that got left. You are the version of you that people think about. That's the shift. So if you really want them to regret leaving, stop focusing on their feelings. Stop trying to read their mind. Stop waiting for a sign and start doing the real work. Work on your self-concept. Build an identity where you are the prize, where you are respected, and where you are not easily replaced. Do that consistently, and everything else will follow. Not by force, but naturally. I hope this made you reflect. Thanks for watching, subscribe, and I will meet you with another golden nugget soon. Happy manifesting.